Hi everyone, this is Annabelle with MiNiAnCa, and I would like to spend a couple of minutes and talk to you about a topic that has been a true game changer for me 2 years ago when I had a burnout. I truly believe that with everything that's going on with the pandemic and the uncertainty that each and every day brings, self-care is even more important than it was before. And I want to share with you a presentation I put together for colleagues earlier this year when I noticed that many people that are close to me are struggling with self-care as much as I did at the beginning. And it's not because we don't know how to take care of ourselves. It's not like we don't know what the practices are. It's more about we don't follow through because we feel guilty of allocating that kind of time and resources and energy to ourselves instead of allocating it to others and helping others. So this presentation is really about lifting that kind of guilt and that kind of um, myth off of your shoulders and showing you that putting yourself first and taking care of yourself is actually the most selfless thing that you can do. Give me about 10 to 15 minutes. You can come back to this presentation. You can pause it. You can come back. You can resume at any point. This is not going to go away. I'll make this available to everyone online. All right. Game changer self-care. We're going to look at stress and its effects. We're going to identify, I'm going to show you how you can identify what your biggest stressors are so you can spot those early, identify those early, and initiate countermeasures before you're being caught in that hamster wheel and already too stressed out and too anxious to keep a clear, level head. We'll look at your energy and how you can recharge your energy household. And we'll look at, of course, self-care practices, what those are, and then we're going to bring it all together. Feeling stressed. Yeah, great question. When we put this presentation together at the beginning of the year, no one could have ever imagined or pictured the situation that we're in right now. Back then, it was really about, feeling stressed at work, feeling stressed because you're wearing too many hats, because you have too much on your plate, because you're just pulled in too many directions. And I really wanted to show that if stress persists for too long, it is the worst thing that you can do to yourself, because the effects of stress are literally on every aspect of your well-being. It has an effect on your body, it has effects on your mood, and it accelerates aging, it causes sleep problems, overeating, undereating, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, restlessness, anxiety, anger. The list is really, it's endless. And when you look at all the symptoms or how stress manifests by, accelerated breathing and flushed skin and tense muscles, when you look at these symptoms, I want to call it, this is basically your fight or flight mode, fight, flight, or freeze that is kicking in. And while, in older days, this response is something your body implemented to keep you alive and make you, get all your energy, all your reserves to be able to run from the tiger that's chasing you and about to eat you. Nowadays, it's really about, kind of factors that are not so much life or death. It is your boss screaming at you. It is your baby crying. It is your worry for an older relative. And yeah, and now we're adding COVID to that. So it's really important that you know what your stresses are so you can spot them early and initiate countermeasures in terms of, self-care or, reminding yourself, taking deep breaths and those kind of things. So really knowing yourself is all wisdom. So I want you to take a piece of paper, and you can pause this video and come back as soon as you finish the exercise. But I would like for you to write down, what are your biggest stressors? What are those things? What are those triggers that really make your blood boil and your heart race and make you sweat, and just like all these things that fill you with anxiety? I can tell you, for me, it's when I feel I'm not in control in whatever way that might come. Things go differently as planned, or I feel someone is wasting my time. Just like whatever comes to control, this is what gives me anxiety, and this is what stresses me. So pause this video, take a piece of paper and write down, what do you think in this moment your biggest stressors are? It's not going to be the final list. You're probably going to work on it and develop it over time. But for now, just write it down. All right. A lot of times, a big stressor to us is wearing too many hats and having to take care of too many things and too many people at the same time. And what's really important to know and to understand and to remind yourself is that in order to give, one must have. And we all know the analogy of the, on board on a flight with the oxygen mask, like put the oxygen mask on you first before helping others. We all know that one. I want to show you a different example that I came up with. And to me, it's really like, it's math. It's like your energy household. When you look at that, when you look at what you have and what you give away, what the other person is receiving, what you have left. And let's say you're at 130%. You have been taking amazing care of yourself. You've slept well, you've eaten healthy, and you give 20% of that to another person. That person receives 26, let's call it points, and you're left with 104 points. That's pretty good. Like you're still over 100. But the second that you're just at base level, when you're just at 100% of feeling healthy and feeling like you've taken care of yourself and having a full energy household, and you give 20% away, you're already only left with 80. And you can play this, you can continue to play this, and you see it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I believe 2 years ago when I had my burnout, I think I was at 60% and I still kept giving. And so there's not really a surprise that the burnout happened. And when you do simple math, and this is a graph that I stole from one of my favorite books, Atomic Habits, it's about getting 1% better every day, and I'm translating it into taking 1% better care of yourself every day. After 1 year, you'll be at almost 40% improvement of your self-care and of your health and of your well-being. But if you take 1% less care of yourself every day, you're close to zero. And the thing that happens with when you're at zero, right, you don't have anymore, so you cannot give. And even worse so, if you still continue to try and give, you will go into the negative, and then it will take other people to take care of you. And this is in terms of, taking care of others, but now it's also in terms of, when you look at COVID, if you get sick now, if you don't have a good immune system, if you are, really at risk of catching the virus and not being able to fight it, other people will have to take care of you. So all that guilt and all that pressure you've put on yourself from the beginning to take care of others, it will just have the reverse effect because others will have to take care of you. So putting yourself first is truly the most selfless thing that you can do. And I hope I've proven this with this simple math that I just laid out. And it's not rocket science. And your energy is a limited resource. You can think of it as a battery. You wake up in the morning, your battery is full. But throughout the day, every time you make a decision, every time something stresses you, it takes from your battery, it takes from your energy, it takes from your willpower, which is why oftentimes when you had a stressful day, at the end of the day, you're not going to go to the gym. You might rather go for the pizza because your willpower has been replenished. And the good news is that energy and willpower and all these things are limited but renewable. And the magic pill for this is self-care. So let's look at self-care practices. And again, I told you it's not rocket science. We all know what they are. We know it's sleep. We know that you need to get enough sleep. Your brain is processing everything the whole day during the night, during the sleep. Your neurons are actually forming new connections, and you can lose brain cells if you don't get enough sleep. We all know that we need to eat healthy, that what we put into our bodies has a direct effect on our well-being and our energy levels. We know that we should get exercise in. We need to get out. We need to get some fresh air, get fresh air and oxygen into our lungs, into our bloodstream, and blow off some steam if needed, but just to keep moving. Actually, one of the things that make older people depressed is the inability to move. It makes you physically depressed. Meditation or mindfulness exercise. One of the things that when you have a busy life and a lot on your plate, it kind of calms down all these voices and the noise and kind of the restless mind. So that is clearly a self-care practice. And time spent with loved ones. Spending time with people you love and just feeling the love, it's truly something that can repair a lot of a lot of damage that has been done, and just really help you cope with a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. Spending time for yourself, making time for yourself is truly important, because you're showing yourself that you are worth your time as much as everyone else is, if not even more. So it's really crucial that you make time for yourself. Having fun. Jesus, a good belly laugh is so liberating. And it's just, yeah, they say life, you can regain life by having a good laugh. And I truly believe that is absolutely true. And then, of course, saying no. You can't say yes to everything. You don't have unlimited energy. You don't have unlimited time. There's only so many hours in a day. And every time you say yes to someone, you're probably saying no to yourself. So do it the other way. Say no to someone else and say yes to yourself. Self-care is highly personal. So what works for one person is mostly not going to work for the other one. For example, I love my early mornings. I love to start my day early and elevate my day. I wake up at 5, I go for a run at 6, and then I just try to conquer all the things that are most important to me while my energy and my willpower is still high, before at 8 or 9 a.m., just like the craziness of the day and of the world kind of blows up, and I'm just being more reactive than proactive in the way that I respond to things. So yeah, self-care is highly personal, which is why I want to encourage you to do an exercise, self-care exploration. Flip around that piece of paper, and let's look at the self-care practices, 1 to 8, the examples you have here. And what I would like for you to do is, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate each and every one of these 8 practices. Rate yourself where you are at when it comes to the mastery of each and every self-care. Do you feel like you're getting 8 hours of sleep? You're at a 10. Do you feel like you're more of a 5 hours of sleep and you're just on a lower rate? Really go through all of these and be honest. Like, this is your piece of paper. You're doing this for yourself. Go through all of these and rate them. And then secondly, I would love for you to choose one, 2, or 3 of these self-care practices, and then really decide which ones are the ones that you want to focus your energy on. And it's not necessarily about getting from a practice that you rated your mastery as a 1 and get to a 5. Look for low-hanging fruits. Is there a 6 that you can get to a 9? Really set yourself up for success, because those little successes will help you build the confidence to tackle other self-care practices at a later stage that you would like to implement. Last but not least, I want to encourage you to connect with others and share the top practices you want to improve, or the ones that you already mastered, and really exchange on best practices and habits that you put in place to set yourself up for success, and allow us all to learn from your success, from your failure, and really building a community around encouraging us to take care of one another. Really important, and this is why also a lot of people are not following through, or they, it's not a one-time thing. It's sometimes life happens, and you're kind of failing at practicing these self-care practices. It's just, just know it's okay. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to, drop the ball, as long as you get up one more time. Fail 5 times, get up 6. I don't care. It's a commitment. It's a recommitment. It's a constant reminder required from yourself to yourself and to your health. So it's really okay. No one's perfect. Just get back up and pick it back up. Okay. If you have any questions, you can post those into the comment section. You can shoot me a DM. You can email me at connect@MiNiAnCa.com. and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Overall, if you found this helpful and you think that your network, your friends, your family, your loved ones could benefit from it, please share it with them. In the meantime, we'll be working on other videos. I would like to create one on the power of habit, because I feel right now with everything that's going on, even if you do have good habits in place, we've been really thrown a curveball with the shelter in in place order and having to stay at home and not really having those outlets to being able to go to the gym. So we have to create new habits and kind of adjust the ones that we have. So I want to do a video on that. That's going to be up next. And then, of course, working from home, which I think is also a really important topic right now for all of us. What are the things that you should try to avoid and the things that you absolutely should do just to set you up for success? All right, you guys, thank you so much for your time again. This is highly personal. What works for me might not work for you. All I want you to know is that I'm coming from a place of love. I want to help each and every one of us to take better care of ourselves. So please spread the word. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Stay positive. And talk soon.